Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Francesco Cipollone. I'm the CEO and founder of Phoenix Security, but today I come here to talk to you about the vulnerability management framework. We put together the vulnerability management framework and a series of videos to explain what it is, to enable organization to mature in how they discover, triage, prioritize, and act on vulnerabilities across the board, how to be smart about it. As a security professional, we talk a lot about priorities and being mature, but what does it mean to get to that level? So in this video series, we would like to see a little bit more in detail what it means to discuss and go deeper. So let's go in and see the vulnerability management framework in action. The vulnerability management framework is divided between discovery, prioritization, and action, and routing of the vulnerability to the various sections and to the various teams that are relevant. The vulnerability management framework relies on fundamentally from discovery to prioritization, and access and action is the area that we'll focus more on. That is fundamentally what you need to do and where you need to route the ticket and what are the actions that you take to actually prioritize the vulnerabilities, manage, triage, and how do you mature in that section. So in this current version, the action is fundamentally from ad hoc to regular review to then prioritizing the work on the backlog and so on and so forth. In terms of the framework, this lies on the last part of the framework where you fundamentally need to do something with the backlog of the vulnerability or do an act on the vulnerability, resolve, put in the backlog, and then measure. The measurement is going to come afterwards. So into the action part of the framework, we're focusing on maturity 0 and maturity 1, where fundamentally it's very reactive or completely absent. There are no actions, or the action are purely when there is a pen test report or there is a security scanner that sends some vulnerability and you have your security person coming to you and highlighting. Maturity level 2, you already have some level of review of the vulnerability actions, and you have some level of service level agreement or policy based rules that define how quickly should you fix the various vulnerability. In maturity level 3, then you start burning down the backlog of vulnerability. Traditionally, if you run any security scanner tool, you will build up a series of vulnerabilities. If you're not proactive on resolving those vulnerabilities, they will pile up. And the SLA, the timer that I use to track what and where those vulnerability needs to be resolved and by when, will start piling up. So a regular review of the backlog and a regular burn down of those vulnerabilities is really important. But the maturity level 4 is where really business and security comes together, with focusing on what's really important, creating feedback loop between the business and the development team and the security team on what really matters. And reporting on vulnerability, not in terms of vulnerability numbers, but in terms of risk, so that the business can set risk level and tolerance level of where the business want to be and at which level the business want to operate. And then that should determine the number of vulnerability that needs to be solved. Solving all the vulnerability all the time is probably not the best use of everybody's time. And for that reason, aligning the business to development work and to risk is the best way forward. The maturity 4 and 5 also start going towards more insight and systemic action, where as a security professional, we should focus more on looking at pattern and trends of vulnerability and problem and start going from purely reactive triage, because at this point you will have some form of automated ticket opening or risk-based solution, and a bit more the security team will be having a bit more focus on what's really important to fix, and can then fundamentally free up time to focus on insight. I hope this was informational. The next video is available here. On the comments are all the section, and in the next session we will explain as well where you can find all the information around the vulnerability management framework. The framework and all the material is available phoenix.security/vulnerability management framework. If you go to on the home page, you can find a link directly in the home page, in the main category, in the main homepage. So you can quickly access that, or www.phoenixsecurity/vulnerability management framework. And I'm going to put the link on the video in the comment. So I hope you enjoyed this preview of the vulnerability management framework. There are the link to the vulnerability management framework, the collaboration currently that we're doing with DSOM, and the link back to the other framework available, and a little bit of a breakdown on why we did this and how we can help assessing. As Phoenix Security, we created this framework around the platform that we have deployed and developed to help you getting the measurement, the metrics, and the data all in one place, prioritized and accelerated. But this is a community effort, so please feel free to collaborate, contribute. We have a Slack channel with 15 more contributors so far in a week. So I'll be happy to take questions over the Slack or over a DM. Thank you so much. All the links are in attachment and in the comments. So please click, collaborate, and contribute. And don't burn out. This is Francesco. Thank you very much.
Phoenix. Fix vulnerabilities today before attackers exploit them tomorrow.